When it comes to drafting really good players, especially in the first round, I'm not sure if it gets much better than the Pittsburgh Steelers' resume over these past few years. And in my opinion, the resume is only getting better because I think Devin Bush had a fantastic rookie season. I really do. I know he still gets some criticism for his coverage ability, but I actually think that's a little bit overblown. And what he can do in the running game is just so crucial. I think it more than makes up for it. I think that he's fantastic in the running game, and I think he's pretty good in coverage too, and he can really wow you. I think he had a really good rookie season, and while I understand, in terms of rookie of the year, the top three you have to go to are Max Crosby, Josh Allen, and Nick Bosa. Those are kind of like the three in my opinion. I actually, personally, I think a lot of people on this channel argue should have been Bosa or Crosby. I kind of think it should have been Allen, but either way, that's not important. What is important is that I think right after that, probably the next two guys I would have on my list in terms of defense would be the two Devins, Devin Bush and Devin White. They're often compared to each other because same draft class, same position, and same name. But that being said, I think that Bush is very good, and certainly he has a bright future for Pittsburgh. And let's just get into the film study and why I feel that way. We'll start things off with this play. What's going to happen is that you're going to have a tight end right over, and he's going to be blocking Bush right here. So, okay, this is something you'll do from time to time. You want to have, someone has to block the linebackers. You move a tight end over. Hopefully he can block them, especially if you have a good blocking tight end. But what you're going to see Bush do is right before he gets blocked, watch how he kind of moves to the right a little bit. Watch how he's moving to the right in a sense where now for the running play, I mean, you pretty much have to get it further over because you don't want Bush to be in that gap. You want Bush to be away, but Bush is basically just trying to take away one of the gaps. That's what he's doing right here. And so because of this, 77, the offensive lineman who's pulling around, now he sees this and realizes, hey, now we have to get Bush out of the way. And so he runs over and he helps take Bush completely out of the way, and it's a pretty good run. But the reason why I'm bringing this up is because Bush did a very good job of doing that, which forced them to waste another blocker on him, so he basically had to get double teamed down the field, which is very crucial. Again, it was still a very well-ran play by Baltimore, but it would have been even better for Baltimore had Bush not made that play, and it's some of the little things like that that can honestly sometimes turn what would have been a touchdown into just a 10-yard run. It can really have that big of a difference sometimes. I'm not saying it would have happened on that play, but on some plays, absolutely it would have happened. I also really do like his awareness. Like on a play like this, it's going to be zone coverage, cover 2 zone, and what's going to happen is that a player is going to run basically straight into Bush's zone, which is going to be good for Bush. It's not a very hard route to cover up, and as you see right when the ball is snapped, he's going to do a pretty good job of covering this up. There is not much separation right here, so that's, good job by Bush on that one. Again, maybe not the highest degree of difficulty type of play, but you know what? A lot of football plays don't have a high degree of difficulty, and a lot of times it's all about making the easy plays, and he made the easy play there. But the play is not over, as most plays aren't when Lamar Jackson is playing because he can scramble like the best of them, and that's what he's going to do. He's going to try to run for it. But watch how Bush now notices this, abandons his assignment, and is able to help force Lamar out of bounds. He did eventually whiff on a tackle, but he was able to get Lamar out of bounds, which is the main thing. And he, maybe Lamar probably gets more yards, and in fact, I think he definitely gets more yards had Bush not done a good job of realizing what was going on quickly, or had he hesitated about should I try to make a tackle or should I stay deep. He figured something out very quickly, was able to run over and make a play. Really good aware play from Bush. Speaking of coverage, let's bring up this play. This was one of his interceptions. He had 2 picks on the year. This was one of them, and it was the craziest interception you will ever see. What's going to happen is that it's going to be a cover 3 zone. Baltimore player runs deep. He's running straight through Bush's zone. Bush is in charge of covering the zone that the route is going to go through. And after the ball is snapped, Bush notices this pretty well, and he's going to run over, and he's going to play pretty tight coverage. Now, he did have to turn his back, which is always tough, but at the end of the day, it's totally worth it. I mean, you're a linebacker covering the middle of the field, but because of this route concept, he sort of had to stay further deep. He's doing a really good job on this play, actually, not allowing much separation, but there still is a window, and Lamar Jackson is actually going to make a very good throw. He's going to try to throw it over Bush because, Bush's back is turned. He can't see where the ball is. And so this could actually work out very well. But watch how Bush somehow ends up with this interception. It's kind of hard to see from this angle. So what I'm going to do in a second, I'm going to show the other angle that'll give you a little bit better of an idea of what happened. But he's kind of just really ripped it straight from his hands. It's kind of what happened right there. Just sort of good awareness. And, it was good coverage to begin with. Yes, it was nearly a completion, but that was really just because of a great throw from Lamar, nothing really else. But it was also just a great job of him essentially just being aware, staying through the whole play, and eventually finding a way to make a play. Just sort of really a weird play, but a good one. I also do think that his speed is something that is, that's one of the main reasons he was drafted. Very fast guy, and this play is a good example of that, where that's going to be the blocking concept. That's the whole play, actually. It's going to be a run through the left. And if you notice the blocking concept, what's really key is that nobody is covering Bush, number 55 there. He's getting completely unblocked on this one. So because of this, you figure, hey, it's a run through the left. Bush probably won't be able to get there very quickly, or at least we can, he has to wait a second to realize what's going on. And once he does, that could be all we need. Baltimore, they're kind of a team where they're all about acceleration. So, Bush is going to have to get there very quickly. But watch how he does very quickly read what's going on, and he's able to get into the area. So at this point, the halfback is going to say, okay, well, that didn't work out. Let's see if I can cut back towards the right side of the screen. But even when he does that, Bush is able to reach a hand out and still make the tackle. They don't gain anything on that play. I think they gained a couple yards, but it wasn't much, and it could have been a lot worse had he not gotten over there quickly, because everyone else made their blocks. It was just a good read from Bush. And keep in mind, reads are a lot more difficult to make when you're going up against a guy like Lamar Jackson, but he still made a very good read on that play, because, Lamar could have kept it himself and ran somewhere else, but Bush still read to play well. So good job by him. And I think, his football IQ is a very key thing. This play is another example where it's going to be a cover 3 zone, and that's where he is on the screen. He's in charge of covering the middle of the field, and something similar to that play I showed you earlier is going to happen, where a player sort of runs straight into him, which kind of makes it for pretty easy coverage. Bush didn't even have to move right there, and now there's tight coverage. So, again, good job. He made the easy play. But obviously, I wouldn't be showing that if it was just an easy play. What's going to happen is that Rivers is going to try to throw this ball, and he's going to get hit, or it's tipped or something, but the ball is going to kind of float up. But watch how Bush, because he has his head still facing forward, he's able to read it. He's able to get there quicker than the receiver is and get the interception. And again, a lot of people will kind of point to that as like that's more of a luck interception, and to some degree, it is. That's not going to happen too often where something like that happens. But at the same time, he also helped make his own luck by being aware in that situation. He took advantage of the lucky break and was able to get the interception. It's what I always say. The best players in football, they take advantage of the luck opportunities given to them. Football is a sport where luck is a definite part of it, whether it's, something like that happening, whether it's a fumble where the ball happens to bounce a certain way, or even a referee missing a call that goes a certain way. Luck is a part of the game, but what really happens, the best players and the best teams find a way to take advantage of their lucky breaks and minimize their lucky things that go against them. And Bush right there, he took advantage of a lucky break. And really, I feel like Pittsburgh, for the most part, when they get a lucky break, they do take advantage of it, which is why they were still a pretty good team last year, despite all of the injuries they had on offense. I remember before the draft, I actually said I was kind of a bigger fan of Devin Bush than Devin White, although I also admitted that I think that they're two very different players. I do think that White was more of a project heading in, and I think through one season, I still kind of feel that way. I still feel like Bush is probably the better player. They have different skill sets still, but I definitely think Bush is the better player for Pittsburgh. And, they got him later. They got him with the 10th overall pick. So I think it was a really a great pick from Pittsburgh. I loved the move to trade up and get him at the time, and I still really like it. I think it was a really good move. But in fairness, at the same time, there's not very many draft decisions that you like at the time from Pittsburgh and then go back and don't like later on. Pretty much every draft decision that they've made was the correct one. They're, like I said, they're a fantastic drafting team, no doubt about it. I still do have some problems with Bush. Don't get me wrong, he's not the best in coverage, but I do think that his coverage ability got a little bit overblown. That's just my opinion. His passer rating against was over 100, which is not great for a linebacker, and, gave up 5 touchdowns as well, which is not great for a linebacker, but as a whole, I think he's very good, and he was a huge part of why they were able to be effective last year. It's also worth mentioning the guy isn't even 22 years old yet. He turns 22 on July 18th, which is actually my brother's birthday, so they share a birthday. Fun stuff there. But yeah, so that's what I think of Devin Bush. I think he's a very good player. I think he's probably pretty underrated, which is weird. I don't know why you have a linebacker playing for the Pittsburgh Steelers that's underrated. You think that guy would become overrated more than anything, but he's kind of been underrated for Pittsburgh, but I think he's really good. So what do you guys think about Devin Bush? Do you agree with me and my praise of him? Do you agree that he's maybe better than Devin White, even though, you know, I'm biased? I like Devin. I hope Devin White ends up better. I'm a Bucs fan, but I try to put my biases aside for the videos, and I do think Bush is really good. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.